Hello, hello, Rise and Thrivers. Welcome to June 10th, Monday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for another episode of Rise and Thrive together with Regina Rossi-Lamothe and Dr. Raquel Stuart. So, before we get into this amazing conversation tonight, and we're going to go deep, let me tell you a little bit about who Rise and Thrive is about. And we are a committed community. We are out to empower and educate and equip you to have the results that you want through real talk, taking real actions so that you can have the results that you want now. And if you are not part of this community yet, there are so many ways that you can connect with us. We have a Facebook page with the beautiful logo there in the corner called Rise and Thrive Together. We have a great Instagram page as well as Rise and Thrive Together. And we have a private community that all you need to do is find Rise and Thrive Together community on Facebook. You can also find Raquel and I on our personal Facebook pages, Raquel Stuart, Regina Rossi-Lamothe, and we are also on LinkedIn. Same thing as the names that you see here on our screen. So really excited. We are starting the second week of our new topic, and I'm going to have my sister, Dr. Raquel, come on in. Hello, sis. Welcome to our second week in
Hey,
June.
hey, how are you?
Good, man. I'm excited to be here tonight.
I sound surprised, don't I? I'm like, hey.
Hey.
So, guys, if you hear me coughing and sneezing and stuff, allergies are just doing what they do. I want to say they're
Yes.
allerging, but I make words up, so don't worry about it, and don't make me laugh because then that happens, and my voice changes, and that's not have me morph into something. But gosh, why does it seem like it's been so long since we've been together?
I know. We always say time goes really fast, and I feel like it's, and this is perfect, right? As we're going to get into that topic, how I feel like it's kind of extending. So I don't know about you, but my experience isn't that, oh my God, it's Monday again. Oh my God, it's Monday again. I feel like, yeah, it's been a minute, longer than
Yeah,
7 days, right?
yeah, it's interesting, and just to put you guys on notice, as we're talking about 7 days and exciting, we've got something coming up in the month of almost at April. Woo, let me dial that back. For the month of July, we have something coming up, and we'll talk to you about it as we get through this month here. And we'll let you know what's coming up in July, but just be prepared. And we want to say this: if you are not in our private community, the Rise and Thrive Together community, right? Join. Put in a request to be a member, and we'll be more than happy to bring you into the fold so that you're a part of some things that we're doing that's just for the folks in the community. Okay? Can we do that? Awesome.
Absolutely.
All right, sis. So I'm gonna have you kick it off. What's going on here with this? Um, where are we? Are you taking action? Now, last week a lot of people had comments, which was amazing about taking action, whether they're in action or you know they're getting there. And so I want to know. I've been reading. Let me just share with you guys. I've been not reading. I've been listening to this book, this audio book. It's titled Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. I don't know how many of you have read the book or listened to the book, but I mean, absolutely, absolutely incredible. And I finished it. It was really great. And he also talked about time management.
Mm.
He talked about the exact same thing we did last week when we said, if you're not in action, you haven't done anything yet towards your visions or your goals, and you really want to, what's stopping you? And if you said time management, we talked about, and I talked about getting up early, and that's the same thing he said. It's about getting up early and knowing what you're going to do that day, the night before. So start scheduling what it is that you need to do. See, things on our list, we don't need everything, but what's in priority, what's important, and what do we need to tackle today? And that includes everything: working out, cooking, guess what, guys? Even spending time with your significant other, whether that significant other is your husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, both, doesn't matter, pets, whatever it is, everything has to go. It should be on your schedule. If it's important, it should go on your schedule. Whether you use an old fashioned planner or you use your phone in order to ding and remind you, but we have to start planning and getting in action. See, some of us plan, but there's no action behind it. So I'll ask, what's the purpose of that? What's the purpose of having a plan? Just so that you can say, hey, I have a plan, but you've done absolutely nothing. I I don't understand that. And if somebody out there, any of our listeners understands it, please, I want to learn. Please tell me what is the point of having a plan and you are taking no action to see this plan come to fruition. I need to know what's the purpose of doing it. But this book is incredible. I mean, he curses a lot, so if you're very sensitive, your ears are very sensitive to vulgar language, I would suggest you find another book to read or listen to. But it was absolutely incredible, and he also talked about mindset, and he talked about callousing your mind. So I don't know how many of you out there work out, right? And what gets tired first and is ready to give up? Is it your mind or is it your body? Right? And the reality is, it's actually your mind. Yes, you're a Zumba instructor and Zumbini. Your mind is saying, "Oh my gosh, this is so hard. I'm tired." And the mind is not the one lifting the weights or doing the squats or whatever it is. Your mind gets tired first, but when you can push past that, even if give yourself 5% more to finish whatever it is that you're working on, that helps to cauterize or callous is the word he used. Callous your mind, and it takes you further what you think you can do. So if you do 5% more today, then next week or the next time you are tackling this task, try going now 10%. Just add another 5. It's not unreasonable, but it's just, can you get this under control? And so I've been really and truly putting that into practice as it relates to my working out. Right, Reg. I've been doing my kickboxing, and then after kickboxing, right after, I go and do strength training with someone. And there are days where he says to me, "Oh, I haven't brought out this piece of equipment in years. I never thought I would." And I'm like, "Well, didn't you have to bring it out today, bruh? You could have left that wherever it was." But he pushes me, but he can only push me if I agree, I give permission, and I allow it. And so I push myself because at the end of the day, he can say, "It's nice, great job, yay, keep going." But I have to put the work in. And so I'm really practicing this, going an extra 5%, even though my body is not tired. Hear what I'm saying to you. My body is not tired. It's my mind that's saying, "You're tired. This is new. You've never done this. So just go easy." Today, I actually had him add more weight onto I don't even know what it's called. I know it's a bar and you can do presses and all of that stuff and rows with it, but it's the one where you lay down. It's the big one. I call it the adult one. So we've been working on that and I did it with not a problem. And here's the trick. When my mind said, "You're tired because you just came from kickboxing," I'm like, "No, I'm not tired." And what I find myself doing is breathing. Just something we do every time, but all the time, and we just take it for granted. All I do is breathe, and then I push myself to go a little further. Now, can I do that every time? Yes, I absolutely can. Do I? There are times I'm like, "Oh my God, give me a minute. I really have to take just a minute, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 10 seconds, and then I can get right back up on it." But that's the thing with mindset. It's all the time. You've got to keep on top of it. Otherwise, it will be on top of you and limit what you can do. But I know I've been rambling. Sis, what are your thoughts? I mean, this book has just, he's got me to the point where I'm like, every time I hear my mind saying, "No, you can't," I'm like, okay. And I talk to myself and I'm like, "Yeah, I got this. Let's go." And it's like, keep going. So I have to train my mind now how to deal with this new me that's becoming making my mind callous to those limitations. Does that
Well, I
make
love
sense?
it. We talked about this last week when we finished our, kicked it off with, where are we? Are we in action and not in action? And I love that you came up with this book. Listen, we are like, don't even know David Goggins at all. And I am like promoting him, right? So, David, you watching? Come on out. Come, come talk to
We'd
us.
love to have you.
We want to have you on the show. Um, because this is absolutely, is it the physical or is it the mind? And it's always like, really, I'm going to use the big word, always the mind that stops us. And it's interesting, you've been talking about this. This always connects. Raquel and I haven't spoken literally since last Monday. And so every conversation I've had with people has been about what's stopping them, what's
Mm,
stopping them. And there's the circumstances. And then when we delve deeper underneath it, it's the mindset of the circumstances, right? Some are very traumatic for people. And again, that is the physical thing that happened, but it's the mindset that then brings them down to some past situations they may not even be aware of, right? Because the trauma happened then, but it's really all that trauma from the past. And that mindset is bringing up the fear, the overwhelm, the upset, whatever that is when we're delving into that. So we've all, and it's why I love community, have chosen to kind of work on that mindset. So you
mm.
don't even know, guys. You think Raquel and I like know everything about each other all the time. But since last week when we spoke about that, like I don't wanna, right? I don't want to get up that hour earlier, right? I don't want to get up that hour earlier to do X, Y, and Z yet, right? But what would it look like if I pushed past that limitation, that extra 5%? And we say 5% because you can say 100%, like whatever
Mm.
it may be. It's whatever it is for you. If you want to make it harder for yourself, use the word 100%. I like to make my life easy. So I'm going to say push past the limited mindset that I have. And I joined, one of my friends brought me into the 21-day Deepak Chopra abundance challenge. So every day is a task. Every day is the journaling, reading, very similar to what you and I are talking about. His takes on things. There's journaling and questions that I choose to answer. Go past the just read it. The whole point is for me to pivot and shift my old
Mhm.
way of being if I want to really move through and forward and talk the talk of abundance and prosperity and living a life truly that is real talk, real actions, real results. That's simple. And then the meditation. And you do not check in. It's really simple. You just go into the group and go, done. That's it. You want to share more? You can. That I started. So I'll be honest, I started and it was like the usual way. Fit it in. It's now late at
Mm.
night. And then I'm like, ugh, hurry up. Right. I'm on day 8, and hurry up and do it. And I'm now not sleeping right. And then
Mm.
in part of that is for me to then start my next group. And that was the thing. Like it was like for me to show up to my leadership and be accountable for others. But how I get to be accountable for others is to be my word and to show up for myself. And now all of a sudden, I get up before my alarm goes off.
Wow.
Right.
That's awesome.
And right. And then usual guys is 9:15. Josh is sleeping, Lexi's sleeping, and then I've got my show. And I stopped. I haven't watched TV. So I've been
Mm.
doing that work, right? I might listen to the meditation again, right? Whatever that may be, done. So in that just short amount, guys, 8 days, 8 days, I'm far from perfect, of I always get things done, but it's been comfortable. And that's what Raquel and I talked about. I'm comfortable. I can always get things done. Comfortable. And then I saw that mindset of really when I'm like sort of aggravated, it's because I'm fitting stuff in and kind
Mm.
of like I'm the queen of last minute. And that's just old wiring. That's old wiring. That really isn't me. Known Raquel for a long time, been doing the show for a long time. That's not me. But I got lazy. So it was that conversation of last week that sparked up our conversation afterward and talked the next day to say, ooh, what's not working here?
Mm.
And in 8 days like that, I'm up before my alarm. I'm not watching TV. I'm super happy. Definitely like beautiful time, not, yelling at people, like, and all of that. I get cranky, like that's how it is. Lexi and I, like all of it. It's really been beautiful. So mindset, guys, is it. And for me, when we drop the little nuggets, is I'm that way, and it works when I'm in community, and especially when I'm a leader in community, and I hold myself accountable to, 8 other people, while I'm being held accountable to 8 other people, and then I have my other accountability people as well. So that's a lot of people if you think about that. Just in 2 groups, it's 16 people. Then I see Raquel and we talk or text once a week, and then I have 2 other people. Like, that's, and plus my husband, my daughter, that's about 22 people in my life daily.
Wow.
So it's super great. And I was sharing with Raquel, like, boom, we got the song out, right? The new song for our show. My book, I have my first, pre sketch for the book for Mommy Donated Her Kidney. So that's super exciting, and just moving forward with the things that we said we were going to do. Mine. And that is, it takes something. I mean, I get it. I want to like chill out and relax. But it's I for myself, and why we're here is we're real talk, real action, real results. If we're not doing that work, then we're just walking around and spitting stuff out of our mouth, and that
Mm.
doesn't match. That doesn't match, and that's an integrity thing for me.
Right. Right. I absolutely love it. And you use my favorite word, pivot. I love that word. People say shift, and I'm like, it's a pivot. It's 6 cents, half a dozen, or whatever people say. Six is half a dozen. We get that, right? But pivot for me gets me more in action than when I say I'm making a shift. Listen, the reality is we can sit here and talk to you guys all about, hey, meeting your goals, get in action. But the only person you have to answer to is you. And if
Yeah.
you're okay with lying to you, other people are okay with lying to you too.
Ooh,
Let's think of it
wait,
that way.
slow that one down. That was hot, guys. That was a big like. This is where we wish we had like people that have this bomb drop, because that's really powerful. If you're okay with people lying to you, if you're lying to yourself, then people are going to lie to you too. That is absolutely energy to energy. That was so hot. That just
Yeah.
hit me how to stop you, because when she gets on a roll, it's great, but she has so much good stuff. I want that to land somewhere for someone.
I get it. Make sure it lands in the right place and not in the trash or the recycle bin. Okay. Make sure it squarely lands in your spirit, because that, my friend, is where it needs to be, in your spirit. Somebody jumped on and said, hello, Colleen, truth bomb. Boof. I don't know how to make noise. That's why I leave the singing and dancing and stuff to Reg. I just come and I see, I go boof. I'm just like, I'm done. So
Colleen got
funny.
it.
But listen, the reality is we're in action, right? And we are in action not because we want to make sure we save face. At the end of the day, it's really not about trying to impress anyone. I don't need to impress anybody. I need to progress. That's what I need to do. And that's my focus. And the only way to make progress is to get in action. Now, there are times where progress means sitting and just having a moment and strategizing. But even through that, you are still taking action. It's when you sit and you hope someone's just going to come. And I have to say this as a coach, and it's no dig on anyone, but for myself, as a coach, I don't want to work with a client on the same thing for years and years and years and years. That's me. Now, all you coaches out there, Again, no judgment. I'm not even going to explain myself. For me, that just it does something. It says something. It says, am I giving what that person needs? And are they following up and taking action with it? And if they're not, then that's a different conversation that we need to have. And when you mentioned the word pivot, what it made me think of, and I'm going to share this with you guys, is this thing. Have you ever had a piece of furniture and you've had it for a while and it leaves an imprint on the carpet if you have carpet?
Yep.
And if you don't have carpet and you have hardwood floors or marble floors, the dust under it is there and it still leaves an imprint in because the dust is surrounding the legs of this thing. And I thought about it the other day about imprint and what it means and how, as Reg was saying, we're wired a certain way, and how when things happen in our lives, it leaves an imprint. And we oftentimes don't even know it.
Yep.
Our actions show it, our words show it, and we hear it, but we just don't know the imprint that that thing, whatever that thing is that happened to us, and how we bring that into every single situation, every scenario, and every area of our lives. That imprint, you need to kind of dust it, erase it, relocate it someplace else, because whatever it is, it happened. And I understand some things that happen stop us in our tracks. Somebody said, hey, you know what? You can't do that. You're not capable of becoming better. You're not able to purchase a home. You're not, no, that's not for you. That's for the other people. And that left an imprint in our spirit, left an imprint on our hearts. And so we live by that. We are here to tell you it is time to relocate that thing that's been holding you down, that's taking up space and collecting dust. It is time to remove that from your heart, from your vocabulary, more importantly, from your mind. Because when you think back, that's what's stopping you. That imprint that somebody else made and left it there. And now you're stuck with it.
I love that. This is where it gets into my deep stuff, right? It goes so perfectly what like I was telling you with Deepak, because that is what he talks about, bringing that imprint. It's that DNA, right? That
Mm-hmm.
DNA that's in us. It's in us before we're even born. I've talked about this so many times, guys. It is scientifically proven that as we are this, you know, thing, waiting to be born inside the person who birthed us. That imprint, and that's the word it was used, that imprint was from the the mother, and they have proven to the generation prior.
Mm.
So your mom, right, birthed you, Raquel, and then your mom has a mom, so that's your grandmother. That alone, right there, all of that imprint of, you know, is already in you before you're even born. Everything they're feeling, the emotion, and then all of that stress. Because come on, at the end of the day, it's stressful to like be pregnant and all of those things. All of that happens, and then if you get deeper, it can go way beyond. But at
Mm-hmm.
minimum, science has proven that much. That's huge. She's not even born. I'm not even born yet. That's what we have. Then we enter the world and the environment. And then everything that this little brain is taking in, imprinting. And the brain does one thing, but makes meaning out of it. Just makes meaning out of it. Just makes meaning out of it, meaning out of it, meaning out of it, meaning out of it. And here's the big thing I want to say, guys. What's imprinted in all of us are lies about ourselves.
Mm.
That's been my topic this whole entire weekend. Whole other different show, but like we will get into that. It's lies. And I said that to my daughter. There was an accident that happened and I got hurt in my eye and she was devastated by accident. Water balloon, but it like straight in my face, like this far away. Didn't see it. And all she kept on saying was how bad she was, how horrible she was. She didn't deserve blah, 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 blah. And everybody hates her. And I just held her and allowed her to cry and then just asked her to look at me. I didn't force her to look at me, right? But I kept on saying, look at me, look at me. Can I hold your hands? Look at me. And I said, can I say one thing to you? As tears were down her eyes and my eyes. And I said, that what you're saying out loud and what's in there to yourself, that she's bad, she's wrong, she doesn't deserve this, blah, 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 is a lie.
Hmm.
Guys, our brain are liars. And here's what they lie about: how bad we are, how we're not worthy, how we're not deserving, how we're not good enough, that we can't do this. I'm never going to be able to do that. I'm tired. I'm this and that, like all of that. I'm not saying we don't get tired, but the things that truly don't have you moving forward and in action, that have you have those excuses, are lies. And you can be mad at me about this. That's okay. The fact is that my big spiritual like guru thing is that we are whole, complete, and perfect and imperfect. And we all bleed one color. Unless you're sick, then it's a different color. But at the end of the day, good, compassionate, loving, kind. And the horrible things that are happening out there, and this might trigger people as well, is that people are imprinted with tremendous trauma that are not healed. So Raquel is taking something that's saying, hey, we're not getting into deep, other things. But the fact is, we're all imprinted with a whole bunch of negative, low vibrational stuff, traumatic stuff. And that is where the work is. That's where the work is: to uncover, discover, refurbish, refine, and then move it out of the way, put it in a different direction. And what I did is, like my china closet, I let it go, got rid of it. So that was huge, like big. I love that. And imprint's going to be my word. So, guys, if you follow me everywhere, it's going to be imprint. Love it, sis. That was amazing.
Now, when you said let it go, we know what it is to hold on, right? And we know what it's done for us and to us.
Mm,
So if you want to let it go, then do so. But by holding on, it gives you something to hold on to: hurt, pain, mistrust, abuse, all of it. To hold on to that, you are getting something out of it. I don't know what the something is, but that might be where you have to dig in and really discover it. But I'll tell you something: for me, whatever pain that I've felt, I dig. My nose is itching. I apologize.
that's the truth. That's the truth.
My allergies. Like my nose is itching. Whatever pain I felt, I dug, but I didn't dig too deep because I wasn't sure if I dug deep enough, I'd be able to come the heck back out.
Nah, get it.
Honestly, I can get lost real easily. I can go
Mm,
down that rabbit hole and take up residence for quite some time. But my life does not accommodate that right now. My life is, let me see what I can find right here and then move on. Because guess what? I can learn from that experience, that situation. And that's the key thing here is life happens. People have stuff. Everybody has stuff. I'm shocking you right now, telling you everybody has stuff. The question is, what are you going to do about the stuff that happened to you? You can go one of two ways. You can either keep playing the victim,
mm.
or you can be the victor. And you can say, I can get past this. I can get through this. And then there are people to help you if you don't know how. You are not alone. And I truly, truly mean that. We truly mean you are not alone. But
Nope.
if you want to make progress in your life, you can't keep looking at what happened to you. Or you can, because some people have been doing that. I know I was guilty of that at one point. I was always about, oh, but this happened and you don't understand. And people are like, no, I don't. And I'm like, well, you just don't want to. They don't have to. They want to support you to get through it. They don't want to support you to stay stuck. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Oh, it does. And can I just like I think this leads right into something so perfect. Because as Raquel is saying, life is not happening to you. Now, it's hard when I say life is happening for you
Mm,
when the circumstances can seem and are, like reality, are horrific. But she's saying that you can dig and move past it and move through it. And this is the perfect time to say that if you're not sure about what we're saying and you don't, kind of agree, or you're just like, "Ugh, I don't know." We had an amazing winner last month in our Random Acts of Kindness challenge. She has been on our show. Her name is Regina LaFrance. She has a amazing book that is an Amazon bestseller when it comes to abuse, child abuse, all of that. And I'm excited. Here she is, right? She will be on next week. I'm
mm-hmm.
going to show this beautiful. Oops, I got to get rid of like our stuff, but I'm like still learning the background stuff here. But yeah, so there she is. Regina LaFrance is going to be here with us next week. And she is the one who I feel like is the perfect example of has been there, has kind of gone through what she's gone through, and is able to rise and thrive above her circumstances to the point where she wrote a book and
Mm,
it is a bestseller on Amazon under women's development, under women's abuse, child abuse, all of those topics that she is out to share that you can rise and thrive. You can heal, you can overcome. It is not over. The
right.
fact is, her life is absolutely thriving as she continues to dig a little deep, right? Like Raquel, but she's taking actions moving forward. She committed every single day for 31 days in our private first Facebook group and did these random acts of kindness. If you don't know what they are, please join us for free. Join us for free. You get to read about Regina's random acts of kindness, Raquel's videos, mine, a bunch of other people that did it. So I'm super excited to have her back, as I feel like that's just such a perfect segue as we're talking about a mindset that has taken her through so much and down a rabbit hole where she's out to the other side and
Mm.
out and making a difference in the world, especially for women, especially around abuse, especially around sexual abuse, and out and advocating and being a voice for many, many people who don't have a voice yet, but she's
Right.
the voice for them and she's out to empower them, educate them, and equip them. So I'm super excited.
And the title of her book is Shayla.
Yes.
So when you go on Amazon looking for the book, Shayla is the
By
title of the
Regina
book.
LaFond.
And it took something for her to do that.
Yeah.
It took a lot of hurt, discovery, releasing. She had to forgive herself and all of that. And yes, that takes time, but she went through that in order to help others. And I'm not saying everybody's got to go through something like that. That's not what I'm saying. Don't do that to me. Just hear what I'm saying to you. There are things we have to go through in life so that we can help others. Notice I said have to. And people are like, well, why me? And I'll ask you this question: why not you?
Mm.
Why not you? You are the perfect person to go through it, because when you go through and you come out on the other side, you are equipped to help others along. You're just
Oof.
equipped. You've done it. You've got the experience. Go ahead. What are you going to say,
Oh
sis?
no, it's just so deep. I'm like, I was like, people don't always realize we have our overall what we choose to talk about, but it comes out naturally with both of us. So it's not like we are on this little timeline thing going, oh, now it's this to say this and this. So that just hit me super deep, right? You know what you said? It's like, yeah, when you say, well, why me? And then you say, why not me? That's just like a moment. Why not you?
Yeah. Yeah, and you're absolutely right when you said life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. And it's only when you put in the work, get through and pass and over that, that you look back and you're like, wow, without that, I wouldn't be who I am today. I had to go through that experience. I had to be broken in order to be rebuilt stronger. And that's something I'm absolutely passionate about talking about is brokenness and how there's beauty in it. But I'm not going to do that now. That's for another time that we will have this conversation. Um, but sis, this is great. I absolutely love being able to talk to people about getting off your ass. Oops. I needed to say it that way because some people need that. Get off your ass and do it. Do it afraid. If you're not alone, you have a community. And if you don't, you do have a community because it's right here, right? And we get nothing out of it. It's not like we're getting paid. We get paid by you living the life that you want. That's how we get paid. Okay? But you don't be afraid to get in action or be afraid. I love saying this. Do it afraid.
You
Just
know
do
my
it
thing.
afraid.
You know my thing. She inspired me. Do it afraid anyway. I just
Yeah,
have
she
to
added on anyway to make
anyway.
it sound like it was hers. No.
Nope. It's just my sisters and that is, what we're both passionate about, right? Oh, Toby Reed. Toby Buford. Toby Buford.
Yes, in
Check
the
it out.
end, we will be able to help others. Absolutely. Everybody has a story, but we have that story that's ours and we share. This is what it's about. Whenever Reg and I help someone, we're actually helping ourselves too.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't think we are perfect. I don't want to be perfect. Perfect is boring. I am perfectly and wonderfully made. I understand who I am and I understand whose I am. But that doesn't mean I'm perfect. I'm perfectly made that way, but I make mistakes. The difference is I'm constantly, and Reg and I are constantly working on our mindset. We are constantly in this struggle, this warfare, constantly, because we put it out there. We put it out there on the show. We put it out there to each other, making me, I'm accountable. I am committed to what I confess. So if I tell you I'm going to lose X amount of weight, you best believe I'm going to put everything into fulfilling my word and doing what I need to drop this weight. Speaking of which, on a side note, so far I have lost over 40 pounds since I started my health journey. Straight just changing my health and putting it in with my exercise, getting in action. I can't talk about stuff anymore. I have to do. I don't know about you, but I get tired of talking. I am now at the point where it's about the action. Talk is cheap, right? And so I'm at that point. I want to bring you along with me. We want to bring you along with us about that talk is cheap and get in action. Get moving. Don't let your past be your present and your future.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. You deserve better. You deserve to have a present and create your future. But you can't do either of those, have a present and create your future if you're always in your past. Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes sense. This is just the beginning, guys. This is a continued conversation for the rest of this month. We are talking here for 39 minutes. And thank you, Toby, and thank you, Colleen, for your comments. But guys, here's the thing. We need you. We need you. Why? Because we can do this ourselves. We want this for you, for you. So drop in your comments if you're watching the replay. We got our usual replayers. If you're watching now, throw in some ahas, throw in something you want to ask us. And one of the things we did not discuss is that if you are interested in jumping on, right, and quickly like answering, like, hey, I want to jump in and have a conversation about this, we do have a invite guest link. So we'll drop that in the, comments. We'll drop it in on the replay so that next week, you've got something to come on. You get to like say your 20 seconds, 15 seconds, whatever you want to say, rather than in the comments. We kind of want to make this a live podcast, right?
Right.
A live webcast. So it's a new opportunity, new for Rise and Thrive Together. We will have that link for you here and after it's over. And it's just been a pleasure, sis. I mean, this has been deep conversation, great conversation, always needed. Every time we get together, it is something that fills my soul. It fills me up and it has me get into action even further and further. Like you guys know,
Awesome.
community is my thing. It's what I love. It's why we created Rise and Thrive Together community. So again, everything has been scrolling the whole time. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, but our private community. We're going to really get that private community up and moving and grooving for the rest of the year. We just had a huge one in May, and we'll be excited soon in the next week or two to share about what's coming up for July. And it's just great. So
Absolutely.
go get in action. If you are stuck or stopped, reach out to someone. If you don't know who that is and you're listening to this, then I ask you, really? Right here, like you're listening, right? So, however you found us, reach out. We're really, really easy to reach out to. Info at Rise and Thrive Together. And Raquel and I get those emails together. And both of us, or a minimum of at least one of us, will be reaching you back. So you are not alone. What would you like to finish up, sis, with further
I
close?
want to say, pull something that you said. You said they can come on. We're going to drop the link. If you want to just be on air and talk to us like this, you absolutely can. Notice Reg said 15 to 20 seconds. Okay. I just want to throw that out there. She did not say you're going to be co-hosting the show with her. We didn't say all of that. We said 15 to 20 seconds. Okay. Because I do not have a problem, as you all probably know by now, cutting you off. I love you. We love you guys. We have so much fun here with you, and we appreciate you so very much. If you are not a part of our community, please join us. Facebook, Rise and Thrive Together community. Sign up, get ready, because we've got something really special coming in July, and we will talk about it later this month. Remember, guys, always, ladies and gentlemen, together we can rise and thrive. Till next time.
With peace, love, unity, and compassion.